guest for this session is a professor cum director of the Center for Study of Social Exclusion and Inclusive Policy. He has completed his master's in social welfare and is a doctor of philosophy in rural development. He then started working with primitive tribal people in Maharashtra in the year 1992.
He has implemented various development projects, including Self-Help Housing Project, which was nominated for the World Habitat Award 1995.
His work with prisoners of Ratnagiri Special Prison resulted in Mumbai University awarding him the gold medal in the year 1990.
His dream is to see that all tribals of the state of Maharashtra live with dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Chandrakant Puri.
Good afternoon, friends. Professor Pillai, really nice to see that you have some dreams and how dreams can become a reality. I really feel very happy that I'm here amongst you. And my interaction with all your volunteers have been very, very encouraging. I'm taking a lot of lessons, positive lessons for my own center, I think, from here. All the distinguished speakers here. Friends, what I'm going to talk today is not a theoretical lecture, which you have for last 2 years. Definitely, it is not something which I am talking about others. It is my own ideas, which I have put into practice, and ultimately it became a lesson for other people to live. So I would like to share 1 or 2 experiments about my own experience basically with the tribal communities. And that's the reason I have entitled my lecture session as Lessons Learned in the Process of Creating Positivity and Possibility for a Better World for Excluded Communities in Maharashtra. I think it's really nice that we have such kind of a seminar wherein we are not just talking about the business principles and other things which usually B schools have, because I'm associated with NMIMS, I'm associated with SP Jain Institute as visiting faculty. But here I think entire different approach has been taken for the overall development of the candidates. I really admire that. Being a teacher, I think I need to put my presentation into some framework, and that's the reason I would like to just have 2 slides and then it will be a pictorial story. If you look at a little bit about the tribal communities in Maharashtra, you will find that the exclusion exclusion framework or exclusion theory we are talking about, from the lenses of this theory, you will find that lots of problems these communities are facing. And it is starting with the basic thing, which is lack of assets for survival. You will find that we are talking about, India shining and all that, and, we are competing to become whatever, 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know. But half of your population is still below poverty line. That is India we are talking about. And if you're talking about the tribal communities, it is a very, very sad situation at the grassroots level. Why I have chosen this topic today is because I'm sure and I hope that it becomes an eye-opener for some of the candidates, and if you can just go back and start making a difference for at least few people, I think it is worth coming here and spending time for the entire day. So you will find that there are lack of assets for survival. There are lots of gender discrimination. We have been talking about all the laws and regulations and women's empowerment. Maharashtra coming out with the 50% of reservation for women in Panchayat Raj and all that. But what we really face and what we really see in the field is gender discrimination. Still, women have been used as object, and sexual harassment and all those issues. We have denial of basic amenities. Still, water is a scarcity. People don't get safe. Forget about safe drinking water. Getting water to drink itself is 5 kilometer, 6 kilometer journey, and that is India we are talking about. Then we have lots of problems like political representation, which is almost nil in some of the areas. We have exploitation which is happening at the hands of the rich people, the zamindars and the thakurs. We have people migrating for 8 to 9 months out of their houses simply because it's not that nomadism is something which they like. It is basically because they don't get work in their area. And 8 to 9 months if the family is away, what development we are talking about. The development reaches in absentia. Like we have some people in traditional universities, we confer degrees in absentia. Like the development programs are given in absentia. We are talking about that world. And we also are talking about lack of leadership. There is no leadership, there is no organization, and there is no mobilization. Because who will go to the poor people? See, everyone would like to make more money. Everyone would like to have more assets. And if you go to the tribal people, what are you going to get? What you will get is nothing but the sad stories. And that's the reason you will find that very few people, individuals have been making difference. Of course, they are worth mentioning, but still you will find that lots of tribal areas, there is no community mobilization, there is no leadership, and this kind of grassroots activities are also not undertaken. There is also alienation from traditional cultures. You will find that almost whether you have a 2 times meal or not, but you will find that even the tribal communities getting TV sets, and thanks to some of the very popular governments like Tamil Nadu, wherein whether you are getting 2 times food or not, but TV sets is free. And that is the development which you are talking about, which is absolutely rubbish, which doesn't take into consideration what are the needs of the people. And we are seeing people who are living in such conditions. Of course, there is a lack of ability work. And amongst all this, what really disturbs me is denial of the basic human rights. You are signatory to the UN declaration and all that, whatnot, and all those big government babus and all that in that international forums talking about how strong human rights networks we have. But what happens to the people who are not getting basic amenities? They don't have food, they don't have water, they don't have shelter, they don't have education, they don't have health. And people are dying because there is no health facility available. So what more can happen in this great country called India? And that's the reason I think we need to understand that there are certain communities called excluded communities, and tribal is one of them, and they're having a huge problem. We need to look at it. This is about the problem in nutshell. What can be done? And this is where I think, your role comes in, my role comes in. First thing is that you have to create awareness and community mobilization among the communities, because the problem is that even people sometimes don't understand what are their problems. You need to go there, spend time together, and that's the reason after passing out from Tata Institute of Social Sciences in 92, when I had huge jobs offers from the funding organization, and Madam has mentioned about Oxfam and all those hi-fi organizations giving you quote and we will give you that with all the facilities. I always feel that you cannot really afford to have that. What you need to do is you need to go back to the communities, because you owe something to the community. And that's the reason the first thing what we did was I started moving to the Raigad district. I went there full time. I stayed with the tribal communities and started creating awareness among them, mobilized them on the basic issues. The next strategy which comes is working with the governance structure, because you just creating awareness like Anna Hazare Jindabad Murdabad doesn't work. You need to have a very, very solid structure for work. And that's the reason I feel that, and of course, just by creating Halla Gulla, and now media is there, and you become a hero on day one and hero on the second day. But you need to have a concrete work at the governance structure, and governance structure is the reality, whether it is a Gauki system, which is a traditional system of decision making, or it is a Gram Panchayat, which is a reality. And I know you have seen the experiences of Mendalika just day before yesterday, wherein forests have been handed over to the community. It happens only because you are very, very grassroots level work at the structure, governance structures like Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti and all that. So we cannot underestimate the importance of these structures. We have to work with them. Next thing, of course, after creating awareness also, and after working with the grassroots organizations or the governance structures also, many times it happens that it is like, you are talking about it, but the person who is sitting there is deaf, he cannot listen to you. And there I think then again you have to come back and say that yes, Jindabad Murdabad is also very, very important. And you have to start with the collective actions like dharnas and morchas. several experiences, don't go to my clothes today, please, because today I am in a different position. But when I was at the grassroots level, you will find that I was also working, putting lungis and working with the tribal people. That kind of a situation wherein for 10, 20 to 25, 30 kilometers you are walking for your own basic rights on forest or a land or anything of that sort, and trying to make a difference. Because the problem is that in this country, people don't have fear for anything. They don't have fear for the cameras also nowadays. But they have fear for people coming together. I think we need to encash on that. And once people come together in large numbers, what happened in Jantar Mantar, I think it's not because of a great man A or B or C. It is basically strong young people coming together and backing up the cause. I think that made a very, very difference on the entire scene. So we need to have this kind of collective actions. And of course, you need to have interventions, because I know that it is not that development is government's cup of tea. It is everybody's development. So we cannot just say that, okay, government jab aayegi to dekha jayega, let us see. If I need a water today, I think start digging well today. And let the government say, and that's the reason when I talk about GO-NGO partnership, I talk about both. I mean, government coming 2 steps ahead, you are going 4 steps ahead, because ultimately development is for whom? Development is for you. And that's the reason I feel that you need to have intervention. And the housing and livelihood project, which I have mentioned here in my presentation, I'll give you the pictorial story of how we have done it. So I think there is a very, very importance of having this kind of a very, very concrete work at the grassroots level, along with fighting with the government. Either you go in any mode, you go in confrontation, you go collaboration, but anyway, make sure that the people who have needs are fulfilled. And ultimately, I think whatever you do, one person cannot change the world, but one policy can change the world. And it is a time that we need to teach them what the development is. And that's the reason when I say that it is grassroots policy making, I talk about the changing the structure. And Hindu tribe in Raigad district, Maharashtra, I spent 6 years of my life after passing it out from Tata Institute. This is a basic structure what we thought of development, and that development was keeping in mind the house as a unit, and surrounding the house you will find that there was housing, there was a goatry, there was a poultry, there was a waste management there, then you have the smokeless chulas, because a lot of ladies have eye related problems basically because they smoke. And we need to take into consideration development with the Rashtrapati. We made use of that, and we saw to it that this kind of housing project with tribal communities, which was compulsory as part of our social work course. And something happened, some insect bite, and the child was dead on the spot. When I saw that and I felt that, if this is the situation, and this was not the first death in that community, you will have tiger, everyone want to have an environment, and you have Jairam Ramesh and all these great people nowadays. For them, the tigers are more important, but not the Adivasis. And similar legacy is on, in our country, what the environment is. We care for the animals, not but the human being. And this particular thing, you will find that there are so many deaths like this, and they were so vulnerable that I felt that after passing out, I must go back and start working. So this is a hurt which I felt, we need to work on. Then once you have ideas, you need to have community mobilization, and you will find that these kind of informal meetings and all that were happening at the community level. When we were starting the project, we were sharing our ideas and all that. Actually, during the process, you will find that it's whatever housing or whatever structure they had, literally they had to demolish that, because we were constructing houses on the same plinth as their houses were there. And you will find that for almost 4 months during that process, people preferred to stay unopened because they wanted houses anyway. So it was people's need, and they preferred to stay like that. And this is one design of the houses. What we said that in Indira Awas Yojana, you have nice walls with the cement from outside. Inside there is a soil. And from the first rain itself, you will find that the house starts collapsing. So people have a fear. What they do is Indira Awas Nako. What they want is, they said, only give us the tiles. We will make our own structure with the wooden this thing, and we will use the tiles, Mangalore tiles on that. That is the safest one because we have tested for generations together. But if you are giving Indira Awas Yojana, it is sure that somebody or the other will definitely die in that house. So that kind of a project that we were talking about. And what we gave them alternate design was that what is important is not the cement having from outside, it is a cement from inside with the nice bricks, and only for 3 to 4 walls, because Konkan region has a huge problem, a huge rains during rainy season, which will impact that. So what you need to do is, you can put a traditional sticks called karvi, and half of the wall will be karvi, because again it has something to do with the traditions of this particular tribal community, because unless you have sticks in their house, it is not considered to be a good house. So we actually made a change in the structure and we made something like that. Here luckily you will find that the second from left is, that is me, Chandrakant, who was there in the field that time, and this is the entire team of engineers and our own team who was trying to work with the people and design the project. During the process, community participation was very, very essential, because unless if you have community participation, I would advise that better you don't go for it, because ultimately development is for whom? Development is for the people. If they feel that it is not for them, and if they are not participating, your development will not be sustainable. So if you want to have a sustainable impact of your project, make sure that people are there. And that's the reason you will find that it was mandatory for these people to work on their houses, and they were constructing each other's houses in a cooperative manner. Here again there are myths about women and all that. We always felt that women are weaker, wo kya kuch nahi kar payegi, but I think it's a very strong example in front of you. I think all girls will be very happy to see that. Even 20-25 kg of bricks they were carrying from from the plain area, which talks about the woman power in actual. We don't have to go to the parliament debate whether women are weak and whether what they can do and what they cannot. I think this is one thing which again is a very essential, because a lot of people used to tell us that why you are not having the project, or why you are not constructing the houses at the ground level. But the problem is that if you are talking about tribal, their existence is with the nature, is with the forest. You cannot take them away. If you take them away, they will come away and there will be no development. And this particular thing was reinforced when I was invited in Australia in 1994 again, and the entire village was transformed like this into making a housing project. What is important in this particular thing is that if you have vision, if you have commitment to the people, so what changes, and those changes have to be with the people. Now I will not talk about the other initiatives. I think this is one center, I think one more vision wherein it becomes similar to what Professor Pillai has done. If you have vision, I think you can really go ahead and create such kind of centers and all. The same tribal community, and we have restarted working on the same community, because I feel that particular Krantika Chakra was halfway, so we need to have a lot of inputs on a sustained basis, and that is how we started working on it. And this is the last slide, which again gives you the picture, a very close picture of the housing project. And that's the reason I said that it is possible to dream and make it a reality. Thank you very much.